So one thing that's always very desirable is having a plugin which can be really effective when it comes to mixing, mastering, tidying up mixes, adding clarity, basically doing the lot. And it's always trying to find a budget version which could really help you, whether you're at the intermediate stage, as beginner stage, or advanced stage as a music maker when it comes to mixing and mastering. And recently, Waves have now brought out a new EQ called the Curves Equator. This is the plugin right here. It's apparently smarter resonance suppression and frequency unmasking. It's $39.99. And it's got a lot of very interesting features here, which I feel like could be very useful to mixes. And we're going to do some of them in today's video. I have the plugin and I really hope this is the sort of EQ which could really elevate productions. And the best thing about this video is I haven't actually used it yet, so I have no idea what to expect. So you've got a very raw review of this plugin today. So make sure you do stick around to this video to get the ins and out of this plugin. And while you're at it as well, smash that subscribe button as the best way to support the channel. And if you are sold on this plugin, I will leave a link below in the description and the comments where you can go check this out at Waves Audio for yourself after watching this review. So let's jump into Logic Pro X. Now this is the plugin right in front of me here. It's got a couple of cool features. It's got a sidechain feature which we're going to look at, and it's also got a learn feature. Kind of reminds me of Ozone, this, where basically it uses learn to let Equator capture a healthy part of your audio as a template, basically the same as Ozone. It will then process the rest of the signal to match it. So I have Ozone as well, so what I actually think will be quite interesting to do is actually compare them side by side. So that's firstly what we're going to do before we adjust the settings, because at this point you'll be watching this video maybe as a beginner, maybe you want a quick fix on your mastering. So I have a mastering test in front of me right now. This is a beat that I made this morning. I've got my headphones on as well. Now the mix isn't perfect, so let's have a couple of different tests to guide it. Firstly, let's see how the Curves Equator does. Okay, it's now calibrated. Let's have a listen to a before and after. So yeah, from that what I've taken away is there's a little bit more of a sort of like less of a muddy sense to this mix. It's definitely cleaned up the mix a little bit. It's very subtle. There's none of the loudness stuff going on. That's not really what this plugin is for. So I wasn't expecting that too much, but I have to say it's got rid of a couple of them muddy frequencies, which was kind of bugging me. So it's actually done quite a good job, and it's better than it was before, so that's always good. Okay, so now I'm going to put it up against Ozone 9. So now I'm going to let Ozone 9 do its mastering assistant thing, and we're going to see which one's better. Okay, so now let's listen to Ozone and the Equator one side by side. So the main difference here is the Ozone one obviously it's done a lot more of the actual mastering, so it's boosted the loudness a lot, but the Curves Equator actually, it seems like a cleaner mix. There's a lot more balance in the low end, which is really nice. Again, a really nice sub cutting through, but it's not too intense, and also like the track just feels a little bit lighter, and I really like that, because the main problem I had with this mastering mix before I put it into this project was it was a little bit too muddy and too thick in the low end. So this has actually done a really good job to fix it. Okay, so the next thing I want to actually test now is this vocal sidechain thing, because apparently what it's meant to do is if you sidechain the vocal to the master channel, it will analyze and get rid of any clashing frequencies to give the vocal more room in the mix. Now I've quickly recorded the vocal for the sake of this video. Let's have a listen to that.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town.
Again, don't judge my singing too much. I just recorded it for this video. But what we're going to do now is we are going to go into the Curves Equator and we are going to side chain this vocal and see what happens. Okay, so we got the vocal side chained to the plugin and we got the side chain turned on. So let's now see what this does. You can see we got the two signals here.
We could be where we wanna be.
Okay.
We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town.
Alright, let's do before and after on this one, because I feel like this has actually been really useful.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town.
Wow, so that's actually kind of glued the vocal a little bit more into the mix, because when I recorded this vocal separately, the big problem I had with this was the vocal was kind of sticking out by itself, but this has kind of blended the vocals in, and you can really adjust the crossover to make sure they blend. So this is actually really cool. I really like this. There's a lot of instances in the past where I wish I could have had this plugin, so that's very useful. That's a big thumbs up from me for that feature. Okay, the last two things I want to test is trying to actually master the song myself. We're going to try and use some presets here because I'm new to this plugin. I don't know the full ins and outs of it. So again, this will actually be coming if someone is a beginner or an intermediate to see if this is something that could really benefit you. So let's just reset to defaults actually, and let's try a couple of different presets first to see what this does. So we've got Master Bus 1. So this is the track again by itself. Let's see what Master Bus 1 does. Okay, this is really cool. So we've got some different features here. We can adjust the sensitivity, we can adjust the shape of it, and also the tilt as well. So this is a really cool way to like try and adjust the sort of like the balance of the overall frequency image. So this is quite cool. So I'm just gonna have a little play around with this. Oh wow. Okay. Oh man, I love that. Especially this tilt here, because this track was kind of a little bit more bass heavy. Just by tilting that, you've been able to completely tip the balance of the overall track. Very easily, it can adjust the mix as well, so it's not as intense. The shape and the sensitivity, like all these things together, this is actually really, really good. Really impressive how quickly I was able to balance the main fundamental problem with what this master was. And now the low end comes in really nice and clean cut, and I'm a big fan of that. Now let's see how this does on a vocal. So the vocal, again, I've chucked a lot of plugins already to this. Let's have a listen to it so far.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around.
Now the big problem I have recording through this SM7B, sometimes there's a lot of unwanted low end because of the preamp that I'm using. I'm using a vintage preamplifier, comes with a lot of saturation. Sometimes it's too much. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to let it learn and see if it can actually fix the balance of the vocal by itself.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town.
It's actually done exactly what I hoped it would do. It's cleared the low end a little bit. We've got a little bit more balance. It's not as harsh.
We could be where we wanna be.
There's brightness to it, but it's not at the level where it needs to be DS.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town.
I mean, for a clean mix, that's worked really well. But I don't want to stop there. I'm going to quickly just reset this to its default again. So we're going to go to, let's see what we got here. So we've got DS, we've got dark on the side, mastering, resolve vocal issues. This could be an interesting one. Let's have a listen and see what this does.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town.
Okay, let's try and adjust the balance of this.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me in this old town. We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around.
Wow, that's really easy to balance vocals. That's really cool. If you're an advanced producer, you may find better use out of it, getting more intricate with the stuff. But when you're coming at it from a beginner or an intermediate point of view, it's very easy to balance the vocals here. This could be a very handy plugin, not only for mastering but for vocals as well.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around, living free in the memories, flooding me.
Let's have a quick listen to this again.
We could be where we wanna be. We were young souls just messing around.
Well, there's definitely a lot more clarity to the vocals, so that's a big win. So to give this an overall summary, I do think this is the plugin which once you definitely get to grips with it and all the features, this can be very handy for mixing. I'm definitely going to be using this a lot for vocal cleaning as well as mastering, trying to clean up the mix at the end, because the control you have over the balance of a mix using this plugin is really, really good. And for the price that it is, like, there are plugins which cost nearly 5 times as much as this that do the exact same thing. So this is a very good one. The learn feature is good as well, especially if you're like an amateur. It does really good service for you, especially if you're looking for that quick mix fix. And the sidechain for the vocals, that is very handy. That's going to really help in blending vocals with instrumentals going forward, and I will be using that. If you want to get this plugin for yourself, click a link in the description or in the comments and check it out at Waves Audio. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this plugin, if you think it will help your productions, and also give me a comment any other plugins that you want me to review in future videos. But yeah, guys, that's all for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, make sure you smash that subscribe button, as it's the best way to support the channel. Keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.